Non-resident shipping business. Section 44B. Tax on non-resident engaged in the business of operation of ship. Now, it could be a situation that, let's take some example. There could be a non-resident who is engaged in the business of shipping. Right? So let's say this is India and this is other than India. Now, because this guy is a non-resident, let's say he owns a ship in the foreign country. This might not exactly look like a ship, but consider this as a ship. Now, what this non-resident does is he loads certain things outside India and gets the ship moving, and it comes to India. Right? Once it reaches India, there will be some customers who might want that the stuff that they have, they load it here, and then on the reverse way through, the ship goes back to the foreign country, which could be any other country for that matter. This non-resident is going to take money from the customers who load outside India and from customers who load the material in the ship in India. Right? What this section deals with is that if this non-resident is engaged in the shipping business, he has an option, because there will be a lot of issues around what are the expenses of a non-resident in relation to these, and so on. Right? To avoid those disputes, the section is introduced which provides that a non-resident who is engaged into the shipping business, right, and he loads these goods, passenger and other stuff, right, from India or outside India, he can be taxed on a deemed basis. So whatever are the receipts that we consider as income, okay, or rather actually the receipts are to be considered as receipts only. On these receipts you apply a specified percentage, and that is treated as taxable income in India. Let's see. Notwithstanding contrary to provisions in section 28 to 43A. Now, this statement means that the taxation which we are going to discuss now will prevail over anything to the contrary which is contained in section 28 to 43A. 28 basically we saw prescribes what are the incomes which are taxable, how they have to be taxed, and then all other sections govern what are the expenses which are to be allowed. So all that is not going to apply to a non-resident who's engaged in shipping business. So deemed income, 7.5% of the aggregate of the following amounts shall be deemed to be the profits and gains of business of shipping chargeable to tax in India. So you see what is the value. Let's say this is A, this is B. So you sum up A and B, right? Aggregate of the following amount. Then into 7.5%. Okay, and that is your income under the head PGBP. To that you will apply the tax rate and compute your taxes accordingly. Right? So what are these amounts? What is A and what is B? Let us see that. Amount paid or payable, whether within or outside of India, to the assessee. Assessee is whom? The shipping company, or to any person on his behalf. You may pay the payment to him, or if, let's say for example, because this guy is operating outside India, so let's say there is some agent in India who collects the money on his behalf. Right? On account of carriage of passengers, livestock, mail or goods shipped at any port in India. So if the goods are shipped at any port in India, okay, whether the payment is made to the non-resident, to his agent or anyone else for that matter, these will be included in the total income. Second, amount received or deemed to be received in India by or on behalf of the assessee on account of carriage of passengers, livestock, mail or goods shipped at any port outside India. Again, if you receive or deem to receive any amount in India on behalf of this person, again on account of carriage of these three things, which are shipped at any port outside India, then it is taxable in India. Carriage amount shall also include amount paid or payable or received or deemed to be received. This is nothing but basically these four things: paid, payable, received, deemed to be received. Okay, by way of demurrage charges or handling charges or any other amount of similar nature. So basically, if anything is there in the nature of a rent or associated services like handling or demurrage, these shall also be included to compute the total amount of income of the non-resident. Right? Okay, just to recapitulate the entire thing. A non-resident engaged in shipping business may be picking stuff from India, may be picking stuff from outside India. For India, all the payments received or deemed to be received on his behalf for carriage of passengers, livestock, etc. shall be included, plus any amount which is received or deemed to be received in India in respect of goods shipped outside India shall also be taxable in India. Once you calculate these two amounts, A plus B, you apply 7.5% to that to get income under the head PGBP. Apply the tax rate to this and then you get the taxable income of the non-resident.